Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin in Real Life. A lot of things happening here. Let me just first recap, I guess, the market real quick, and I'll tell you what's going on. So let's take a look here. First notable thing is, Bitcoin is just being Bitcoin. Staying above around 750, which is really good. Ethereum looks like it's taken quite a price dip recently here. If you look at that chart, seems like a lot of people are losing losing their faith in that platform. Seems like between all the hard forking and all the other major banks leaving R3, which really pushed the whole Ethereum platform. Litecoin here is maintaining itself with that price. Monero's gone back up but gone back down, as you can see right there. It's gone back up. I'm talking about this one in particular. It's gone up and then slowly worked its way down. And then Ethereum Classic kind of spiked up, but went back to regular price. The most noticeable difference here, if you look at this, is Dash has moved down. And Steam has moved up. And if you look at the price of Steam at 28 cents, and you can see the chart, it's really moving up. So anybody who's trading Steam, I guess they're making out now. But if you consider where it was and where it is now, I don't think you've made a gain. This thing can go up to 100% right now, to 50 cents, maybe a little bit over 50 cents, maybe even up to 60 cents, and for some people they would still be in the hole. You got to remember, this Steam went all the way up to $4 and gradually worked its way down. What's going on with Steam? Well, they're quote-unquote hard forking. They're changing their inflation rate, or I should call it dilution rate. Instead of 100% dilution, they're going to like a 7.5% dilution. In other words, they're only going to increase the amount of Steam you have in probably Steam Power, whatever long-term, holding scheme that they have. Their little the pyramid scheme on Steam is changed. Instead of having a very wide base pyramid, they've changed it to the point now it's a narrow base pyramid, or a narrower base pyramid. So how can I explain the rise in the price? Well, I can't really, because I don't trade Steam. What I can do is speculate that probably the people who had a lot of Steam and just started out with a lot of Steam, who sold out at $5 or $4, $3, $2, $1. I would say the people anyone who sold Steam at 50 cents and above, they may be buying back now. They never left the platform. They probably sold a lot of Steam. They still have a lot of Steam, especially with the double 100% inflation rate. Now that the inflation rate, or the diluted rate, dilution rate, delusional rate, um, is down to 7% instead of 100%. Um, Obviously, that changes the the whole pyramid scheme and how it works. And so I think that's the reason. I would still, even now, I still wouldn't get involved in Steam. Um, it's just not much there. The website steamit.com, the social network platform, I think is seems to be pretty vibrant. Um, but Steam, the token, um, I don't know. It has to do. Let me see here. That's the volume, $897,000. Now that's unusual. That's pretty high for Steam because usually it does like 100,000. So I would really take Steam a lot more serious if it had a couple things going for it. First thing is increasing that volume to at least a million a day. At least a million a day. Second thing would be that it creates its own ecosystem, and that people start using Steam other than on the Steam platform to pay for stuff. Has to be used outside of the Steam platform. And I would say third, the third thing is I would wait at least 3 years since it's been created, I guess. To some degree, I would even say wait at least a year after the hard fork to see what happens. Anyways, only time will tell, but that's the only thing interesting right now. It's like Steam moving up really high in the in price here, 38%. That's not bad, but if if you if you've been holding on to your Steam and you have a lot of Steam, is it good? I don't think so. Anybody who bought from 50 cents on up, I don't think they're doing well. I don't think they're making any money on this yet. Anyone who didn't sell their Steam and kept their Steam in, what do they call it, Steam Power, you're probably breaking even by now because the inflation rate helped you out. And so, if $1 million goes into Steam and then, $70 million leaves Steam, there's still, Steam is still worth something. Because of the inflation rates, you may get a lot of Steam, but I think if you just factor in the inflation, you really didn't make any money. You just probably had your money if you kept it in a Steam Power. If you kept your token in a way that you couldn't use it, yeah, you probably maintain your value in Steam tokens. It's a whole nother situation when you actually sell your tokens, because Steam, and Steamit.com and Steam Power, they all have different values. Seems like. Again, I'm not on the site. I just hear what other people have said, and each has its own value. And when you finally get it to a Steamit and try to cash out, you have to exchange it on one of the websites to get Bitcoin. When they can stop doing that and actually just straight trade Steam for cash, that's the thing you want to watch out for. That's when it's going to be. That's when it could finally take over Bitcoin, because that's what people are saying. Steam is going to take over Bitcoin. So, anyways, I'm going to cut in and cut out because it's a special episode. I'm going to be taking a road trip, and as you can see, I got my bags, ready for this trip, and we'll see how it goes. Let me cut out. All right, everyone. I'm going on a road trip here, and whew, this is it here. This is the car. See me drive this around for quite a bit. So, I travel a lot. I'm heading back to California, from Houston, Texas to California. Um, well, if you all know what that is, that's my armory. And here's my luggage. That's my luggage. Sometimes it carries an armory with me. So, oh, goodness. It's a trip that I make quite often. Here to California. You see me go up to Washington State, Oregon. Also, other places I go to is I've been to New York, Florida, even went to Canada. Eventually, I'll make it my way down to Belize. A life of, well, my life as a Bitcoiner requires me to travel across state lines, across international lines, whatever it takes. And if you're whatever you're into, if you want to make it better, bigger, and greater than what it is now, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to go out there and convince others why it's so wonderful to do what you're doing, or why is what you're doing, why is it so wonderful, and why is it so important. And so information not only flows over the internet, but it flows from person to person. And although it may be possible to shut down the internet now, that and it almost did happen. I mean, a couple months ago, the internet almost did shut down. But one thing that people can't take away from you is the ability to talk from one person to another person and let that spread throughout the world. So let me cut out and come back in later. All right, everyone, I'm cutting back in here. Just leaving. It's a 20-hour drive. I usually do have a layover at El Paso, but right now I'm headed to San Antonio, and there's a refueling spot for me over there, so I'll refuel there. But let me cut in, cut out. Some things about driving on the open road. You see a lot of things, especially during transition seasons like fall and well, just every transition: fall, winter, spring, and summer. You see a lot of things. Anyways, let me cut out. My next stop is towards San Antonio. A few other stops that are critical for gas refueling. But let me cut out and I'll come back in later. Alright, everyone, I'm cutting back in. I've made it into San Antonio. So anyways, not too bad on the time. Doesn't take too long to go to San Antonio to Houston, so. Alright, let me cut out and I'll cut back in later. Alright, there's San Antonio, everyone. Not too bad. Alright, let me cut out. Well, everyone, I'm cutting in. I got here kind of early, but it's getting dark. But I made it to El Paso for the most part. So let me cut in, cut out. Alright, everyone, I'm cutting back in, and pretty much I'll load this video up, I guess, and make it part one of my travel. And anyways, I'll conclude this portion of the trip, and tomorrow I'll leave from El Paso and go on through to Los Angeles. So, um, anyways, let's recap for the night where everything is, and as far as price and everything. If everybody's wondering, seems like Ethereum took a little bounce right there. And then what else? Anything else go on? Steam is still chugging along. It's kind of like a negative right now, but it was up quite a bit. Is it going to continue? That's kind of the question. So that's recap. Anything happen today? Well, I heard someone got, I guess you could say, hacked or overtaken. Their phone was overtaken or whatever, or their email account, whatever the case may be. In any case, has nothing to do with any Bitcoin, other than perhaps the hacker was trying to acquire Bitcoin, selling whatever they stole. That's about it. Is there any possible news other than that? I don't know. I've been too busy driving and just enjoying the ride for the most part. So, anyways, I'll conclude this episode. Looks like a lot of price volatility for I guess not too much on Bitcoin, but for a lot of the other altcoins. You can see they're really starting to move and reposition themselves up and down all over the place. At least the top 10. There's only really 7, in my opinion. But anyways, if you look at the top 10, those are the ones that are really moving. What I really noticed right now, if you see that, Steam actually made a volume of like $1 million in trade. Usually they do like a couple 100,000 maybe. It's finally reached 1 million, so there's a lot of volume moving up and down. I mean, even for Bitcoin, it's quite high, and Ethereum is just going crazy. Anyways, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of worry about the actual price itself of Bitcoin, and I guess I'll take a little bit of time to talk about that. Let me just go to the chart. Jeez. Okay, go to a chart. Everyone's looking at this and looking at the this portion right here, this little pattern formation. Anyways, if you're not involved in Bitcoin in any way and you're just getting involved, the only way you're gonna learn or get knowledgeable on how to use Bitcoin is to actually go and get some Bitcoin. So what I've learned is where the price goes up, where the price goes down, as long as you're still in the game, you should be fine. And even when the price goes down, you should be okay. Probably not doing great, but if you stick it out long enough, and the price swings back up, it makes a big difference. So right now I would say
we're halfway up or halfway uh, finished. So I don't know which way or the other, but I know right now we've been going up, and momentum like that usually takes a while to um, to 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 stop, I guess. Um, my inclination is always that the price is going to go up, so that's what I'm kind of expecting. Anyway, that's my opinion. Let's just go back to yeah, let's go back to this here. So people worry about the pattern of charts. That's another thing I want to talk about. Um, I've never really tried to use them because you've gone beyond reading charts to um, I don't know, looking for patterns now, literally. Um, but we'll see what happens. I mean, no matter what, I'll still be involved. So, anyways, I'll conclude this episode, and the next episode will probably be loaded for the next day when I finish my trip. So, stay tuned.